Hello, I'm Don Mooers. Welcome to Montgomery Week in Review. Well, school is out. Nonetheless, our public schools are busy as plans are being made for the upcoming school year. Fred Evans, who worked for Montgomery County Public Schools for a number of years, will give his thoughts on what we can expect in the upcoming 2017-2018 academic year. EveryMind, a wonderful organization in our community, has programs that work to improve the lives of folks by empowering individuals and communities to reach their optimal mental wellness. And isn't that important for all of us? Amy Fier, director of two programs, both the Friendly Visitor and the Representative Payee program, will tell us about how each of these programs helps our neighbors throughout our community. Montgomery County Muslim Foundation adds significantly to the safety net in our county by operating food drives on behalf of Manna Foods, as well as preparing meals for the homeless. The foundation also meets the needs of the community with programs for the elderly and youth. Tufail Achmad, a board member of the foundation, is here to tell us about the organization and its activities. Montgomery Community Media, MCM, where this show is being beamed from, started a program in Silver Spring. Merlyn Reineke, executive director of MCM, will describe what will happen in Silver Spring at that location and what it will offer everyone throughout Montgomery County. Fred Evans, welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you, Don.
It's great every time you're on the show, and thank you as well for being the host.
Oh.
I don't understand why you're not the full-time host. You do so much better job than the guy who's sitting in here now. What are we looking ahead to? 2017 school year is just around the corner.
Yeah,
right?
it's always just around the corner, it seems, and I've often wondered when we'll get away from the agrarian background of having summers off all the time. That's a whole nother discussion.
Rehoboth and Bethany, Ocean City would be very angry.
The Labor Day, starting school after Labor Day, that's another issue.
Right.
But anyway, I think just for the audience to be reminded, we are the 17th largest school district in the country. I worked, by the way, in the school system for 30 years, a teacher, administrator, et cetera, et cetera.
I think Gaithersburg High School, you
that's
were principal.
Correct. Gaithersburg and
yes.
Parkland Middle School.
They're still talking about you at
Oh, I
Gaithersburg.
hope so.
I hear about that. Exactly.
And this year we had 159,000 students in the Montgomery County Public Schools. We have I always get this number incorrect, but roughly 177 schools,
right.
133 elementary, 39 middle, and 26 high schools.
Almost as many countries represented, about the same number of countries represented as there are a number of schools.
That's exactly correct. When I came here in 1970 as a teacher,
right.
We had 100,000 students. We were a large school system then because we went through our ebbs and flows over the years. And our ethnic breakdown was 91% Caucasian, white, about 5% African American, and 2 to 1% Asian and Hispanic. For this past school year, we have been for 18 years a majority minority, although I don't like this description.
Right.
We're an international community.
But you know, it's amazing. I think one of the things that the school system can be very proud of is that it's been one of the leaders in the county in embracing this move, and where diversity is again embraced as opposed to being dealt with. It's tough though for individual teachers where you move from a monochromatic white-black to this mosaic system, isn't it?
No, I think what the system does well, and it's not a perfect system, and we can find many faults as we always do with large organizations, but what the system has always done well, and I was involved in it directly in the late 70s, is doing diversity training and making it a mantra rather than, oh, maybe you should be more sensitive to folks of other groups. So it I think has worked very, very well.
So how does the teaching style change? What goes on in the classroom that's different when you started compared to now with all that diversity going on?
I think number one is first and foremost is technology, and the technology that is accessible to teachers to be able. I had the chalkboard. I had an overhead projector, you know, and in history classes I could show, you know, film or videos that was appropriate for the topic. Yeah. But I think technology. And the second thing is what we just talked about, and that is the diversity, understanding that someone that looks like you, this is not to single you out, may have different needs than someone that looks like you.
Exactly.
And that's not good or bad, that's just the reality. And your learning style is different than yours. And so what you have to adjust to is making sure that you're presenting information in a variety of different ways.
Right, exactly.
I could lecture for that.
Well, no, but I think also when you look at kids who are coming in from different backgrounds
Oh.
too, you're coming. I'm sorry, Amy. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what kind of programs, I'm sure there are many, does the school system have or have they put in place over the years to meet those diverse needs, not just cultural and language, but also, of course, looking at socioeconomic status? And I mean, I'm sure there's tons.
We could go on an entire program.
I'm sure we could.
Yeah, we could have an entire program. I think, but I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit. I think one thing we have to make sure that happens is if, for instance, I come into a school as a kindergartner and I'm in an ESOL, English speakers of other languages, I think it's still referred to as that as quickly as possible, that I'm not held in that program for long periods of time, that I get the appropriate
minute
skill.
left.
I get the appropriate skills so that I can move into the more advanced courses as I go into elementary, middle, and high school. I mean, we have the IB programs all around the county, the Blair Math and Science Magnet. And what we have to be sure of is that students from all backgrounds get involved in those programs and that we train them well.
Yes. When I came in this country, people all suggested you go to Montgomery County because that
Interesting.
offers the best place to go. And all my 3 children went to that school. One of them went to Harvard later on, and he came from Churchill High School. So that is the credit for Montgomery County.
And that's why I came here as a teacher in 1970, because it had a good reputation.
Very good.
They interviewed me on my college campus. I got the job.
Well, as a
Thank you.
proud Churchill graduate,
Yes,
as
thank
I am, I'm happy to hear there's
Yeah.
success coming out of my high school. Amy,
Yes.
and thank you, Fred, very much. That was a great.
No problem.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Your first
Thanks
time
for
with us.
having me. Yeah.
You're doing some great stuff at EveryMind. We talked a little bit ahead of the program. Real briefly, because I know there are a lot of questions. The 2 programs that you're directing, got to keep you really busy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about each of those programs?
Sure. So I am the director of 2 programs. One is the Friendly Visitor Program, and that program serves individuals in the community that are over the age of 60, so older population, and who are isolated, mostly homebound due to health issues, sometimes memory issues, who really aren't having a lot of
So bringing
social
people in to come
contact.
visit. And,
Right.
The second program?
So the second program is a rep payee program, and that program helps people who are disabled who need assistance managing their finances, and we match them with a volunteer, and that volunteer pays their bills month to month, makes sure they have money for food, everything that they need, and just keeps them financially stable.
How
How
did you?
does-
Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How does, if I am a person who's in that situation, how do I get to contact, how do I find out about your program?
Okay. Well, you call EveryMind, which is the nonprofit that runs
Right.
both programs, and you just ask to speak with me or someone from the Friendly Visitor or the Rep Payee program,
Gotcha.
whichever one you're interested in. We get a lot of referrals, a lot of family members, who want to refer people, their loved ones, and it's 2 very great programs.
Right.
Friendly Visitor specifically, the volunteers just create wonderful relationships, friendships, companionships, and for some of these individuals who are referred, that might be the only person they actually
Wow.
see that week. And so to have that one person coming in and spending an hour with them, talking, playing cards, talking about the news, whatever, is wonderful.
I have 25 to 30 seniors who come in our office and visit on Wednesday every week, and then over the weekend they go on trips to various places, only for the purpose for which you are doing this, in order to provide them an opportunity to come out and mix with people. So I would very much like you to come to our office and give a lecture to them and know them, and they will come back to you if they
Cutting
need
edge right here, Montgomery
Yes.
Weekend Review.
Connections.
That's great.
Sorry, I was going to say, do you have kind of a perfect sort of avatar for volunteer, like a perfect person? What kind of skill sets and background would they have?
Really, they just need to want to give back to the community. friendly visitor is a little bit more time consuming in the sense that you do visit 1 hour per week. Rep payee is a little less time, but you still spend about 4 to 6 hours a month, really depending, visiting your client and managing the finances. They don't need to have an accounting background or anything like that.
Okay.
Sometimes because they have that, that's their interest, but really just wanting to give back and wanting to provide, your time and your dedication, your commitment to helping someone who's in need.
You know, there's a model that, or very similar, the tax assistance for the elderly, that
Yes.
it comes up, and the joy that these volunteers, again, you don't need an accounting background, you're trained, but the joy of in that case, of saving someone, an elderly person, $50 or $200, it's got to be a similar thing. I mean, you're talking about very small amounts of money a lot of times.
Right,
For
right.
your, but what kind of joy or what kind of feedback do your volunteers?
Well, the volunteers really feel that it's fulfilling because you are, the responsibility that you are taking on is preventing someone from potentially facing a crisis.
Right.
So you make sure that their rent is paid where maybe they wouldn't have remembered to pay their rent or been able to write that check because of a physical disability, and now they have housing, and their housing is safe and secure. You make sure that there is savings, and now they never have the possibility of running out of money for food or for necessary medications. So it's a big responsibility, and the volunteers take it very seriously, and they really want to do the best that they can to make sure that that person has the financial stability. Some of these clients have never
Fantastic.
had a savings,
Right.
any savings.
Wow.
So
And even a
It's
little
really-
bit. We've got about
yeah.
a minute left. I guess you must have more than enough volunteers. You don't need any more volunteers, right?
no, we always need volunteers, always. So they can always check out the website or call the organization, and we run trainings regularly, usually monthly, and we're always looking for people who want to give back in this way.
What's your biggest challenge these days?
Well, our biggest challenge is sometimes finding volunteers, and just finding people who
Got
can
30
have
seconds
that
left.
commitment. So, but we do the best we can, and our clients tend to be long-term clients who need the service for a long time, and so we're proud to be able to build that relationship and provide that service.
You're excited, making progress.
Yeah, and we are going on celebrating our 60th anniversary.
Wow.
Even though we haven't always been EveryMind, we were previously the
Mental
Mental Health
Health
Association.
Right.
So,
Okay. 60 years.
60 years.
It's a great way to end.
Yeah,
Continued good luck.
thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages. And we're back. Tufail Ahmad, welcome.
Thank you.
Your first time on the show.
Yes, sir.
I've known you for so many years.
Yes.
I've been so impressed by everything you do in our community.
Thank you.
You're here to share with us what the Muslim Foundation of Montgomery County has been doing, especially in helping food, helping the food needs of those who are in most need. Maybe a little bit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the foundation?
Okay.
And then let's start off with maybe your work with Manna
Okay.
Foods.
Okay. Basically, I have to start with that I came in this country 44 years ago, and I settled in Montgomery County, and I have been living here since then, and I enjoyed every minute of it in this county. Now I realized that Muslims were not involved in community service or other activities because most of them were taking care of their families and everybody, and so they did not have any time. But unfortunately 9/11 happened, and it opened our eyes, and then I had to go door to door telling them to come out and get involved, because that was the only way you could let other people know about you and talk to them and become friendly.
But I think one of the things, sorry to interrupt, one of the things that folks do not understand about the Muslim faith is within the 5 pillars of the faith,
Right.
charity
Is-
is crucial.
It's crucial, yes. Yes.
And that's usually, but that's looking after the community, looking after the poor, looking after the homeless, looking after the widows and widowers.
Right.
But what you're talking about now is taking what's done within the community and reaching out into the non-Muslim community, into the larger community.
Exactly.
Right.
That was the purpose. The purpose was, unless we know the larger community and help them, how they will know us? If we just, because there is an element in our community who just want to do it for Muslims only. So that is the mind there. But I had to break that mind. No, do it for everybody. Our Prophet was the messenger of human beings, not only for Muslims.
Right.
He did help everybody.
Right.
So gradually people started listening and started collecting, giving money to me every year. The role I played in the community was as an elder person. People knew me because I was a businessman. I ran a business, and they
And you also
thought
that's a-
that
but you also
they
a communi-
trusted me.
But you're a community leader
Yes.
outside of the faith. I mean, that's where
Exactly.
we got to know
No,
each other.
The people ask, why did people trust you? Why did they give money to you? Why did you come to
Right.
this position? So this is what I tell you. You have to be genuine. You have to be honest. You have to do some work every day.
So let's talk about the work, because it's such a short time. I wish we could go on. But
Yeah.
talk a little bit about what you're doing with Manna Foods.
With Manna Food, we got involved with them in collecting food for the hungry, and that is the first organization we got involved, and we did so well with them, and they help us every year to organize our food drive and with giant store. So we all three work together and to do this collection of food. Then I go to Interfaith Works and feed the hungry. Then we have a food pantry in our own office, and we distribute food to about 50, 60 families every month. Then we have a senior program which is very popular. We have a bus to bring the senior, and we take them to various trips.
But next time you're back here, you're going to be talking about the interrelationship with Amy,
Exactly.
with EveryMind, and how we're all working together in the future. This is fantastic.
Yes.
news.
How many
Now-
people? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How many people are served in all these? Do you have any idea?
Maybe
Thousands.
thousands of people.
Right.
Because the fresh meat which we provide, we provided about 5,000 pounds of meat.
Wow.
In the last 2 years, every year we provided this meat.
Right.
This year our target is 8,000 pounds of meat, which will go to all non-Muslims in Tacoma Park area. Basically, we concentrate in Tacoma Park and Silver Spring, where the largest amount of poor people live.
I hate to
And-
say this, but we have only 50 seconds left in this segment.
Yes.
This is terrible.
Now, then we have the youth program for
Right.
our youth. We have various soft skill program, SAT courses. The poor people can't afford it. So
Right.
we started the program in our own office. So we are trying to help every segment of our community. And it is one of the largest serving charitable organization in the county now. And I'm grateful to the county executive, county council member who help us. And I am grateful to my Muslim community who donate us money every year. This year we raised about $150,000 from my own
Fantastic.
community to help in this process. It's
Well,
amazing.
And now you're next right here to Merlyn. I mean, one of the wonderful avenues, as you are right now, is with MCM.
Yes.
And getting this word out, and in terms of how we're all working, able
Exactly.
to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm so grateful to Shane Rock. He came to my office and looked at everything, and he said, "You come on this program." I said, "I never heard of it. Nobody ever invited us. We don't know him." So then I went on the YouTube and picked up, and I found you all over. the place.
There you go.
Aw.
Then I learned everything
Yes.
about him, and
Yes.
when I saw his program
Yes.
with you, and it was so good.
Tufail Ahmad, we could go on, and I hope you'll come back. Amy, I hope you'll come back as well. I hope you'll come back as well.
Thank you very much.
And
We will love to come back
and let's
and
carry
tell the
on.
community know what we are doing.
Absolutely, it's
Thank
so
you.
important.
Thank you.
And now we come to our final panelist today, Merlyn Reineke, the Executive Director of Montgomery Community Media. We're going to talk a little bit about the expansion. I mean, every day we could talk about expansion. Under your
absolutely.
regime, under the Reineke rule, there's been so many changes here.
There have. I've been here almost 8 years now, and technology's changed. How people generate and distribute content has changed. We were talking about YouTube and other platforms that we leverage on an ongoing basis here. So some people are watching us on YouTube. I think as many people watch us on YouTube as they do on the TV channels these days. And so there's lots of opportunity for our organization to be out in the community on different platforms. However, having been in Rockville, and this is our kind of our home here
Right.
for 30-something years, there are benefits to having a physical facility. And we're a wonderful facility here, but we also need to be out in the community where other people are. And so we're proud to announce today that we are building a brand new facility in addition to the one here in Rockville in downtown Silver Spring as part of a unique partnership with the Housing and Opportunities Commission on Elizabeth Square. So we will be going there by the end of the year.
So in Silver Spring, what kind of programming do you hope to have there? More of a training, empowerment, an elderly focus, a diversity focus? What are you hoping to?
I see a lot of focus on in terms of the training program down there. We will be planning on doing productions there. It's a great opportunity to engage with a lot of nonprofits and other organizations who
Sure.
are generating content. But training, I think, is going to be a key down there. So our training team will be there in Silver Spring, and we hope to come up with some innovative courses and projects down there as well.
Who will be the trainees? Who's the audience to be trained?
Good question, Fred. We do, part of the facility that's going in will have a senior focus, so we do think that we'll have some programs just
like
for
that.
seniors
Go
as
ahead.
well. Yeah, so Fred, come on down.
And
do
Tufail
that.
as well? Yes.
I'm
not
we'll
quite
be
there.
there.
I'm almost there.
We'll all be in there. But I think it's a great opportunity to be out in the community. We're one block from the new the Metro Center down there as well. We are not Metro close here at Rockville, as most people know. So
Right.
it's a great opportunity for us to be a little more connected to the wider community in downtown Silver Spring.
And I think about the youth and the diversity and this, the training you do with high school, the backpack program, backpack journalism. I think we're talking about right here, and with Tufail, I think you've got some thoughts here.
Yes, I think we will be distributing the meat in Tacoma Park and Silver Spring area, I think on the 7th or 8th or 9th of September. And I want you to cover it and show it.
All right.
That is what I want.
We'll add that to
Cover
our
it
list.
and show it to the community, what we are doing.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of physically
Good
being
idea.
located in downtown
Yes.
Silver Spring. We can generate content and cover the community more effectively by having a presence down county.
Thank
But
you.
it's amazing that when I think about the loneliness in your visitors program, that even as technology has spread, it has also had the impact of sometimes making people feel even more alone.
That's right.
They're connected, but they're not tactile.
Yep.
And so it seems to me that if people have an opportunity to learn how to tell their stories, that we can sort of push that back a little bit. How is that?
You're right on target with that, Don. I think the fact is that people can feel very disconnected, even though they're connected via social media. And the fact is having a physical presence, the opportunity for people to engage with each other in a facility and around this larger community, I think is a real opportunity for people to advance their causes as well as learn more about media content creation. I mean, I think we all know how to, with the kid, biting his finger or the cat chasing its tail. But I mean, I think the fact is creating good content and telling your stories is something that's very powerful. And Silver Spring facility will provide us an opportunity to do that as well.
And everyone has a story to tell, don't they?
Everyone has a story to tell,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so Silver Spring will help us be able to engage with the thousands of people and nonprofits that are housed there as well. Yeah.
And that's a big project coming up because that's lots of residential, correct? And so when did you say it was going to be up and running?
So
for you
HOC
guys?
is phasing in the project.
About
itself.
45 seconds
We
left,
will
by the
be
way.
one of the first anchor tenants in the facility, but it'll be a number of years before all the tenants are in there. There's a large aquatic center that'll be going in down county that people have been clamoring for years.
Oh,
so
forever.
It's going to be a real destination, I think, on that part of the county. So we're excited to be a part of it from the outset and hope to watch it grow together.
Remaining time, other highlights that we should be looking forward to from MCM?
Look for Day in the Life 6 coming up next spring,
Yes.
and our Epic Awards, which honors media creators and distributors here in Montgomery County. That'll be coming up also in the spring of 2018, plus our incredible election 2018 coverage right here from MCM.
And that incredible election, I mean, when I think about the election coverage, it's the only election coverage that is neutral.
That's
Where
right.
you just have the candidates being able to speak, and then even with the League of Women Voters doing the debates, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you.
Merlyn, having been engaged in one of those, I love them, and we'll look forward to having you back again.
Thank you, Don.
You all, what a great show. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining me, and thank all of you in the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Moores, inviting you to join us next week at this very same time.